Welcome everyone to our session today. First of all, I am so proud of you for joining me today because you have big dreams here, right? You are attending this session because you want to make your dreams come true. And your dream is to land your first job in the US. So in this session, I would like to give you some tips and techniques to navigate all the job searching barriers and achieve your dreams in the US. And a little bit about myself. My name's Kwan Siegel. My students call me Coach Kwan, and you can call me that too. I grew up in Bangkok, Thailand, and now I'm living in Chicago. You can see the screen in the background where I am right now. This is the Chicago skyline, so beautiful. When you get here to Chicago, let me know, okay? I would love to buy you a cup of coffee. And let's talk about what I did before becoming a career coach here. In my past life, I worked as a human capital consultant at global organizations like Accenture and Deloitte. And in the past, I helped Fortune 500 companies, which they are my clients, with their talent strategy. And today I am the founder of ICAWay. And what I do is I coach international students to help them navigate all the barriers and land their dream jobs in the US. And not just international students, we also have students who are first generation immigrants like myself as well. I really love my job because I love seeing you all, achieve your dreams here. I know how hard it is building your new life and your new career here in the US. Let me walk you through some agenda items today. First, I will share with you a 7-step career success roadmap that has helped myself and also many international students build their brand and network and eventually land a job at the company that want to sponsor them. All right. First and foremost, everyone, I always recommend all students, especially international students, to utilize your university resources. Never, never ignore your university resources. Okay. First, know your counselors at those important offices. They are so friendly to international students. Make sure that you know your counselors at the ISSS, International Students Scholars and Services Office, okay? Career Services, your academic advisors, and also build relationship with your professors as well. Many of my students get job referrals through their professors. Don't miss out this opportunity. Next, participate in events that your school organized to learn new things outside the classroom. This is important, okay? And you will be able to meet with new people through those events as well. Next is to stay engaged with your alumni network because they could be your potential mentors and even your job referrals in the future. All right, so don't miss out this opportunity. And that's not all. Look into student organizations that align with your interest and build your leadership roles within those organizations. Lastly, most universities also provide job portals. So you should always polish your profile in that, portal and also keep your account active. All right. Make sure that you're very active on that job portal. However, these are some basics that you should not miss out at all. But to land a great job as an international student, you need to be extra good and you need to go the extra mile. Okay? Because nothing great ever comes that easy. And I want to set up some realistic expectations about job searching in the US with you. Here are the scenarios for international students and also actually domestic students as well who are approaching their graduation. They usually experience these top three challenges when looking for jobs. First, they may have little or no work experience at all, but most jobs in the US, even at entry levels, ask for years of work experience. How that possible? Right? And second is they know they have to network. People keep telling them, go out, network, talk to strangers. But they don't have any connections to kickstart with and don't even know how to get started. And it is so awkward to follow up as well. What is the best approach to follow up when you don't hear back from people, right? You don't know how to do that. And third, all they received from their online job applications is rejection. These are the challenges, all the challenges that many new graduates stumble through. And for international students, your challenges will double if you wait for the job to be open, apply online, and wait for an interview opportunity through that traditional job application process. Because when you get that first phone call from the recruiter, they will have to go through the process as usual, right? Business as usual. The recruiter will ask about your immigration status and they may say, we don't have a policy to sponsor international students. This is a kind of situation that many talented international students usually stumble through and lost your chances to present your skills in front of the hiring manager. You do not even have a chance to bypass that screening route. So in this presentation, I would like to share a few points to help you find jobs as a new graduate and also overcome your job searching barriers as an international student. If you follow the 7 steps that I will share with you in the next slide, you will have higher chances to land red carpet job interview. You see this one, red carpet job interviews, without going through so much of the traditional job application process. I have a few true stories to share with you before getting to that 7-step approach, okay? Let's learn from these true stories. They are international students at ICOA who landed their dream jobs at top global companies because they have a solid career brand and networking skills. First, let me talk about Shazman Khan. Okay, he is an international student, a former international student because he's got sponsorship already and already changed his status. He's originally from India, a small town in India, and when he came here, he had only a few years of work experience back in India. And it wasn't easy for him at all in the beginning to look for jobs as an international student. But after he rebranded his LinkedIn, a recruiter from Amazon reached out to him without him applying for that job online at all. He finally secured his dream job as a program manager before his graduation. And it was in April 2020. You remember that time? The peak of the pandemic when job openings dropped by half and the unemployment rate climbed up, record breaking. But Shazman overcame his barriers as an international student, his barrier as someone who looked for a job during the pandemic and secure a job offer before his graduation in May. That's excellent, right? Another great example is Dr. Trang Vu, an international student from Vietnam. Trang has recently landed her dream job as an R&D scientist at Unilever. And again, she didn't have to go through traditional job application process. Trang used a networking technique to connect with a high-ranking level professional on LinkedIn. She commented on his post and then asked for a one-on-one call with him. And after that, once she started to build that rapport, he agreed to pass along her resume to one of the directors at Unilever who was hiring at that time. Trang got a chance to jump on a call to introduce herself to that hiring manager, and a week after that, they gave her a job offer. Just one call to introduce herself. She said, Coach Kwan, I didn't even think it was an interview. All right. And then here's my favorite Vaij Hatrode. Vaij is an international student class of 2022. She just graduated this May. She secured multiple job offers, not just one, from the top global 500 companies in her favorite industry, consumer goods industry, before her graduation. But before that, she faced job searching barriers just like any other F1 international students. Work visa barriers, cultural language barriers, lack of professional connections and all. But Vaij never gave up. She overcame all the barriers and landed the job of her dreams before her graduation. Vaij, this is her success story. So great. She did not even mention about sponsorship with the company. They even asked for anything. All right. But the HR of this global company called her to offer an H-1B and green card sponsorship in the job offer letter as her benefit of becoming an employee. Shasman, Trang, and Vaij, okay, all of them bypass all the traditional job application processes because they know how to optimize their career brand. They know how to network with the right people. So let us look at the formulas they use to help them land their dream jobs. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the Q&A. Okay, I will check the Q&A at the end of this presentation. Now let us look into the formulas that Shasman, Trang, and Vaij, and so many students at ICOA use, all right, to land their dream jobs. Here is the 7-step career success roadmap that I built myself. And within this hour, too bad it is going to be hard to cover all of them, but I want to focus on a few important factors here. The first factor is to have an effective networking strategy. So I'm going to talk about step number 1, build meaningful connections. Step number 2, make people like you. And step number 3, create a networking game plan. And once you build that meaningful connections with the US professionals, right? Once you finish that first 3 steps, your next important factor is to build your career brand. So in steps 4, 5, and 6 is to define your goal. What kind of job you are targeting? Create your compelling stories and know your employer's needs. This is the job interview technique. We're going to touch a little bit of that. So let us get started with networking. If you want to have more chances of getting job interviews, you cannot rely on online job application anymore. Because on average, only 2% of job applicants get calls for an interview. It is hard to get results when applying online, especially when you dream of joining big tech firms. Why you spend time on that 2% chance when 80% out there of jobs, more than 80% of jobs are in the hidden job market? You remember Trang's story? The job was not even posted online, but she's got referred directly to the director who wants to hire an R&D scientist, right? Trang got tapped into the hidden job market which is a term used to describe jobs that have not been advertised or posted online. These employers and companies share the opportunity with their network and keep getting candidates through employee referrals. And many of those jobs that actually you saw online on LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and so many other job posts out there, many of them that already published online might have already been filled, okay, internally or via referral. That is why sometimes you don't even get any responses from applying for those jobs online. And all you get was a rejection email when you have such a good profile. There are lots of channels of networking, but remember, my first step is to build meaningful connections. Why is that? It's because as an international student, you need to have a strong advocate who believe in your capabilities. You need a group of professional network who know that even when you need work sponsorship in the future, you are going to be a good investment for the company. So randomly connecting with people online on LinkedIn or sending cold emails without the intention to get to know them, it may not turn into a meaningful result if you don't know how to build meaningful connections with your target professionals. Make them fall in love with you and know where to find those career advocates and know how to maintain a connection. We will touch a little bit of that in this session. Here is a channel that will help you build meaningful connections with professionals outside your campus. It is important to build relationship with people inside, on campus, your advisors and whatnot, but always expand your network outside your campus as well. You can consider participating in events or even becoming a member at these organizations. Let us start with the first one, this blue table here. Okay? These are organizations that support your heritage. Leverage your heritage, okay, and connect with people in those professional groups in the US. Like, for example, me myself, I am originally from Thailand. I am Asian, so I am a member of Ascend, which is the largest pan Asia leadership in North America, not just in the US, but in Canada as well. So through that membership, I get to connect with so many amazing leaders from top companies and get to learn from them. And we all want to help each other, right? When you share the same barriers, the same challenges, the same backgrounds, you tend to help each other more. And that's the technique to network as an international student. And for example, if you are from a Hispanic background, you can reach out to organizations like Alpha, Prospenica, and more. There are a lot more here for you to learn from. Okay. And next is this orange table here. These are organizations that support your specific interest. When joining the events organized by these organizations, you'll be able to meet with your target professionals who are working in your dream roles. For example, if you dream to become a project or program manager like Chasman, you remember Chasman? He's now a program manager at Amazon. If that is something that you dream to become, right? Then join an organization like PMI, Project Management Institute. Like if you are based in San Francisco, there is a big chapter here, the biggest chapter of PMI. And there are other chapters around the US. So check into their website and learn more how you can participate in their upcoming events. Don't be afraid that you are young and inexperienced. That is okay. Okay? Because to be young to be a student, that is actually the card you can use in your job search game. People love to help students. So I would like to give you a few seconds here to capture this screenshot because these are organizations that you should start looking into. Okay. And you can kickstart by joining one of their free events. And if it's something that you feel, that you feel like you involved and you want to become a member, then you can explore their membership. All right, you're good? You got the screen? All right, make sure that you have this on your to-do list. All right. Here are the next 3 steps to build your career brand. Define your career goal, create compelling stories, and know your employer's needs. Why do we need to have a career goal? Can we just randomly applying for jobs that we can do, that we feel like we are capable of? Why do we have to think about a goal? Let me share this data with you. From a survey, 1,500 recruiters said that irrelevant applications was the biggest turnoff, and almost half of this population said they would blacklist those candidates by suppressing their names from even coming up in future resume searches. Recruiters at big companies have no time to deal with candidates with irrelevant applications that apply for jobs like a numbers game. Please avoid treating your job application like a numbers game because it is like you are shooting your resume in the dark. Let's make your job application process more focused and more strategic. There are so many strategic steps to build a career brand, and today I would like to talk about a few misperceptions that many students normally have when building out their resume and looking for jobs in the US. First, do you believe that only work experience in the US matters to American employers? That is not true. The right skill sets matter more. You should always highlight work experience that is related to your target job. Even though it's in your home country, that is okay. Me, myself, coming here almost, wow, time flies, almost 10 years, 10 years ago or something, okay, back in 2014, 8 years, right? Back in 2014, I did not have any experience in the US, but I had 10 plus years of work experience back in Thailand. So I bundle up my experience and sell that to American employers. And from that point, I got a job interview. I got job interviews from many companies and finally secure a job offer from Deloitte. And I did not have to start from the bottom at all. I started where I am, want to be as a senior consultant in human capital consulting at Deloitte. So you can do that too. Okay. And for those of you who do not have any real work experience, let's say we have lots of undergrad students joining us today. Maybe you don't have work experience at all, right? Don't worry about that. It's not the end of the day. It's not the end of the world. All right. Because your school projects also matter. Use your school projects and bundle it up to highlight your skills on the resume. Even though it's not a paid job, that is okay. You can also start volunteering, working for nonprofit organizations. Like, let's say, if you want to be a data analyst, business analyst, you can volunteer to work, right? Or you can use your CPT to work on some internship that can highlight the skills. However, don't ignore putting your school projects on a resume. It is compelling. Okay, let's talk about the last portion here. The last misperception is that GPA. I know International students, you are high achievers. And I encourage you to keep your grade above 3 because that is a common cutoff for many companies out there, especially, big fours. However, if you feel that having a GPA is a gateway to a job directly, let me show this to you. Okay. From National Association of Colleges and Employers survey this year, fewer employers said that they use GPA to screen candidates. You see the sharp drop there, right? They said, I don't care much about GPA anymore. When it comes to a career, employers want to know your stories, not just a GPA. So prepare to talk about your projects and the problems that you have to solve, in your classroom with your project work. Highlight relevant skills instead of just a GPA. And once you have your brand ready on your resume, don't just stop there. Share your brand on other channels as well. Okay. For example, of course, LinkedIn. 100% of my students got job interviews with Google, Amazon, and all the top tech firms because recruiters reached out to them through LinkedIn. They did not even have to apply for jobs online. Okay. Top tech firm recruiters love passive candidates. All you need to do is to build your brand on LinkedIn. Also, don't forget about your email signature because after you get, interview opportunity and all that, there will be lots of email back and forth, right? Add your brand on every email that you communicate with people. And something that will set you apart is your e-portfolio, GitHub, and more, okay, depending on your career goal. All right. If you have some work samples from your school projects or your own personal projects, build a website and let the world know what you are capable of. Okay. Go beyond a resume. And this is a post pandemic time. People start to meet up in person again. So let's print out your business card that presents your brand. Nothing beats in person meetings. Okay. And this may surprise you a bit. When you get a job interview, never ask for this question. Will you sponsor my H1B? Never. As you have your work authorization already, F1 students, be confident about your CPT, about your OPT. Don't feel guilty about it. All right. You should walk into that meeting, that interview with confidence that you don't need sponsorship right away. Make sure that you are there in that job interview to sell yourself, your capabilities, your skills, not your visa situation. And during a job interview, please remember that in the US, job interview is not a one-sided approach. In the job interview, if you want to stand out, you must be able to create a conversation with your interviewers. And to create that conversation, you need to know a lot about their background, right? All hiring managers that I talk to, they all say the same thing. Candidates who stood out during the job interviews are people who have done extensive research about the job and about the company. Therefore, in order to nail your next job interviews, all you need to do is to do your homework, do your research, okay, to identify their needs. First, just walk through that job description, read it line by line. All right. And not just that, check into their website, social media, get to know about the company, know about their achievements, their challenges, their latest news. Use a name dropping strategy. Have you heard about name dropping during the interview? For example, if you know what is the CEO name, CFO name, mention their names about their mission, right? In the company, share that you have done some research and express how much you want to be part of their mission to help them achieve that mission. Also, do the research about your interviewers as well, because that person is the one who will put the score on you, right? Give you the score. So don't just learn about the company, but learn about your interviewer's background, about their expertise, because this will help you customize your message to match their interests and ask good questions. However, anyone can get those online information, right? How can you stand out? You need to find opportunities to speak with people who are working within that company. Ask your connections, ask your career advisors, ask your professors if they know anyone working in that company, as you would like to learn more about the company culture and the team members. Find opportunities to have an informational interview. Before we get into the Q&A part of today's session, I would like to make sure that you walk away with these important action items. All right. First, networking. Network for mentorship opportunity, not for job opportunity. Branding. Target jobs that are hard to fill in the US and build your professional brand beyond having a resume. Job interviews show that you are a problem solver, not a visa sponsorship seeker. And job offer and sponsorship will happen on its own. Remember White's story? She didn't even mention anything about I need sponsorship in the future. She just did so well during the interview, show her value to the employer, and the employers just offer that to her without her asking for it. You may be asking, Coach Kwan, really? Following these 7 steps, will I see results? So let me show you this. I put together some data here for you as an evidence. My students that follow these 7 steps, okay, this is what they have achieved. More than 90% of them receive job interviews or even a job offer within a month of launching their new career brand. Career brand is so important. And their average salaries are twice to the average national salary for college students, because international students, you're not supposed to be a cheap labor. You are the human capital for the American economy. Be confident about yourself. All right. And for many of them that landed job at startups or entry level right after college, they got promoted within a year of joining the company because of their networking skills. So networking does not stop at the time that you got a job offer. Keep continue building that skills. And because of their LinkedIn profile, they also keep getting new opportunities without applying for job, especially get reached out by top tech companies because of their optimized LinkedIn. So don't ignore building your LinkedIn profile. If Shasman, Trang, Vaj can do it, you can too, right? And once again, don't let your work visas become your barrier to getting a job offer. Build your brand and network to bypass your immigration barriers. And please keep me posted on your journey in the US. I am rooting for you all. Good luck, everyone.